First and foremost, I was proud of my team, how we fought back. When we went to training camp this year, we talked about being a second half football team. That's why we condition the way that we do. That's why we work out the way we do. And our team holds together in the second half, whether we're up or not. And I'm just really proud of them. Of course, we made some mistakes. Those things that we're going to go back and try to correct, and try to move on from there, and hopefully get our next win.
There seemed to have been good connection with AC. Talk about what he was able to do tonight
Well, AC is a very talented receiver in tight end. He plays fullback for us. We got our running backs banged up. He's even played tailback for us. Tremendous athlete. We lost another tight end tonight. Ian Thompson suffered, what appears to be a concussion. Thank God we've had his baseline testing done, so we'll be able to get him in and make sure that he's healthy when he's healthy. So AC had to play a lot of snaps, and just really proud of his effort.
What's the status on Ian Thompson's injury tonight?
I don't know. From what I heard, he got his bell rung a little bit. We're going to get him in. We're going to have him for baseline testing this week, and we'll make sure that he doesn't have a concussion.
Quarterbacks, Robinson and Browning. Browning seemed to be tonight the more poised. Was very instrumental in the 2 touchdown drives. Robinson wasn't as sharp tonight as he was last week. How difficult was the pass coverage for him?
Well, the coverages were really good tonight, and I think they did a good job of adjusting to what we've been doing, and it kind of made some difficult throws. But I think they're both very good quarterbacks. I think they both bring something very different to the table, which helps us as an offense. But yeah, I mean, we got to work on our routes a little bit more too. We got to create some separation so he has some clean throws. So even when they do have the right coverage on us, if we know how to run our routes properly, we can create some separation. So those are all things we're going to work on, and timing as well. Our timing. Remember, these guys have only been together 25 days, so the timing things that have come along as we all come along.
Was that when they had like that block field goal attempt when Omaha was going to down the other end of the field? Was that like the big momentum changer for your team, actually going back and?
Well, it kept us alive. I knew the field goal. I wasn't really worried about the field goal so much. If they would have hit it, they still would have been up by 4. Would have taken it. We could still have won the game with a touchdown. But to get that momentum off the block, I think it picked everybody's spirits up and was very beneficial for us.
How's Marsh? He missed the extra point, the touchdown, came back and has the game winners. How's his emotions? Is he going?
Yeah, he's good. You got to remember, these aren't extra points. I mean, we're kicking them from the 17-yard line. These are 35-yard field goals, so they're not chip shots. And with the wind coming off the ocean the way it is right here, it is a very difficult place to kick. Would I like more consistency in our kicking game right now? Of course I would, and that's something else we'll address this week during practice.
The interception by Robinson on that 4th and 4. Do you feel that he could have had another option than the receiver?
Yeah, we had a speed out behind it, and if he'd just been a little bit more patient, he could have got the speed out on the sideline. That would have been the better throw. There was another one that he did was close to being picked off, where AC was running a hitch and was wide open, and again he made the wrong decision. But you're going to have that with young quarterbacks as they start maturing. And again, it's not like we're going with one quarterback for the entire game. We were playing 2 quarterbacks throughout the entire game, which is difficult to do. That's why you don't see it in the NFL or college very often, because the rhythm and the timing changes between those 2 quarterbacks.
Is that a mandate or a league or something you're just doing?
Something I do here. I mean, to me, the FXFL represents everybody getting a chance to go back to the National Football League. So I rotate pretty much everybody. There's a few people that I'd like to get more playing time in, but depending on the score of the game and the situation, some people may play more or less.
Talk about the defensive effort tonight by the Bulls. After taking the early 6-0 lead and watching Omaha score initially 13 unanswered points, what were some of the initial adjustments that you guys made at halftime to hold them at 13 and be able to make the comeback?
Well, the biggest thing was we had to continue with our integrity of our coverages. We had a blown assignment from our safety, which was the long score that they had. The quarterback made a great scramble on empty, so there was nobody in the middle of the field when he took off. Our linemen, our defensive linemen, we told them you can't outrush the quarterback. You got to be able to keep that guy in front of you and be able to come off blocks and keep him in front of you. So it's basically just getting everybody at halftime to say, okay, let's settle down. Let's get back to our fundamentals. Let's get back to what we do best, and I think they did a really good job of that in the fourth quarter. But I mean, give Omaha some credit. I mean, they're a pretty talented football team. Both their wide receivers went for NFL workouts this week, so I'm sure they were pretty pumped up too to have a very good game. Hoping they can get signed.
Defensively, you guys, for the most part of the game, did a great job against the run. You had some lapses there where they got big yardage on you, but for the most part, you guys did a terrific job containing the run a lot. It's just something like linebackers are more active, or
Well, what happened? What they were doing today? We were talking about offensively, or
on the defensive end.
on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Yeah, the linebackers missed a couple fits on the zone play, and the running back made a couple nice cuts coming out the back door. I think the linebackers trying to jump things so quick because they were running the ball on us pretty well at times that they kind of didn't play their gap responsibility the way they should have.
The pass rush was pretty decent as well too, except for that Jensen with that long run, that touchdown run. Overall, I think your pass rush, number 92, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's all over the place tonight.
Our entire defensive front, in my opinion, is probably good enough to be in the NFL at some caliber of play, whether if it's on the practice squad or an active roster. Chris Redding and Tripp, they're outstanding defensive ends. So's Merle. He's doing really well. And then we got those big defensive tackles up front. Earl O'Keene was with the Texans a year ago. I coached him a couple years ago. I think he's an outstanding player. So we're really blessed to have a defensive line that's that caliber. And at the same time, our line gets to go against them every day. So it's making our offensive line better.